Family, there are some stories that don't just disturb you, they awaken something ancient in you. They don't just make you shake your head, they make your soul tremble. And when I heard about what happened to those adopted children in West Virginia, I felt something rise in me that I could not ignore. This isn't just a crime, this is a reminder that the past is not as far behind us as some would like to believe. Today's episode is called When the Past Walks into the Present. I'm not here today to make anyone comfortable. I'm not here to soften the truth. I'm not here to dilute the weight of what happened. I'm here to lament. I'm here to reflect. And I'm here to confront the historical patterns that keep showing up in our present world. Before I can teach anything today, I need to tell you what broke me. I need to tell you what shook me to my core. I need to tell you why my spirit has been groaning. In May 2024, a West Virginia couple, Jean K. Whitefeather and Donald Lance, were convicted on multiple charges, including human trafficking, forced labor, child neglect, and civil rights violations. Investigators found that they had adopted five black children and subjected them to severe abuse. Authorities discovered the children malnourished, forced to perform labor, and confined in a small locked room described as cage-like. They were denied basic sanitation, medical care, and humane treatment. A West Virginia judge sentenced the couple to a combined 375 years in prison, 215 years for Whitefeather and 160 years for Lance, ensuring neither would ever be released. This case is documented in public court records and major news outlets. It stands as one of the most severe modern child exploitation cases in the United States. And when I read this, something ancient in me cried out, "Family, my heart is in anguish." When I read about those children, children who should have been protected, loved, and nourished, being abused, confined, and dehumanized, I felt a grief that went deeper than the moment. It touched something generational, something ancestral, something sacred, because this wasn't just cruelty, it was a reenactment of a mindset that has existed for centuries. A mindset that once justified the buying and selling of human beings. A mindset that treated black bodies as tools, not souls. And I found myself whispering, "Lord, how is this still happening? This is my lament. This is my cry. This is the groaning of a heart that refuses to become numb." Let me slow down and tell you why this didn't just disturb me. It awakened something I've carried for years. Let me be honest with you. When I was in my early 20s, studying the history of slavery, the Middle Passage, Jim Crow, and the long shadow of racial hierarchy, I had a thought that never left me. If certain people have the power, they will rebuild the chains because in their minds, skin color determines status. Because of this ideology, an entire system was built to ensure their dominance. Because of a worldview that sees domination as order. Because of belief systems that once shaped laws, economies, and entire nations. And when I saw this case, that old fear resurfaced, not as paranoia, but as historical memory. Some things hit your spirit because your spirit recognizes the pattern. To understand why this moment feels so heavy, we have to step back and look at the pattern. not just the event. Because what we saw in that case, it didn't come out of nowhere. It has a lineage. For centuries, systems were built that dehumanized Black people, broke families apart, treated children as property, normalized violence as discipline, justified exploitation as a natural order. This mindset didn't disappear, it adapted. And when one system fell, another rose to take its place. Different name, same intention. After slavery ended, new systems emerged: Black codes, convict leasing, Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, discriminatory housing and lending, unequal education, mass incarceration, voter suppression. These were not random policies. They were structured attempts to maintain racial hierarchy. So when something like this happens today, it's not an isolated evil. It's an echo of a mindset that refuses to die. So when a modern case emerges where children are treated as less than human, it is not an isolated act of cruelty. It is an echo, a reminder, a warning. It tells us that human ideologies can survive across generations if they are not confronted. And family, there comes a point where we have to stop whispering about what we're seeing and start naming it. This is not about blaming an entire group of people. This is about confronting a mindset, a system, a pattern that has caused harm for centuries. We cannot heal what we refuse to name. We cannot confront what we refuse to acknowledge. We cannot transform what we pretend does not exist. There are ideologies in this world that still cling to domination. There are movements that romanticize the past. There are voices that long for a time when Black people had no rights at all. We must name this. We must resist this. We must stay awake. This isn't just my grief. This is our grief. This is the cry of generations. Today we lament the children harmed in this case, the ancestors whose suffering echoes through time, the systems that continue to evolve, the trauma passed down through generations, the silence that often surrounds these injustices. We lament because lament is holy. Lament is truth telling. Lament is resistance. But even in the heaviness, even in the sorrow, there is a truth the darkness cannot erase. And yet, in all this grief, there is still hope because we are still here, still rising, still building, still loving, still creating, still fighting for justice, still refusing to bow to systems that were never designed for our flourishing. Our ancestors survived the unimaginable. Their resilience is our inheritance. Their strength is our foundation. Their dignity is our reminder that evil does not get the final word. Let's lift this weight to the one who sees, who knows, who judges, and who heals. Lord, hear the cry of every wounded heart. Hear the cry of every child harmed by cruelty. Hear the cry of every ancestor whose blood watered this land. Hear the cry of every community still fighting for dignity. Give us clarity, give us courage, give us strength, give us justice, give us healing, give us resolve, and let truth rise like a flood. Let justice roll like waters. Let compassion guide our steps. Let love be our weapon. Let hope be our anchor. Amen. Family, thank you for sitting in this with me. Before we go, let me leave this with you. We will not be silent. We will not be numb. We will not pretend the past is gone when it keeps showing up in the present. Stay strong, stay awake, stay armored. Family, if this truth sat heavy on your spirit the way it sat on mine, I'm asking you to share this, not for numbers, not for growth, but because silence has never protected us and awareness has always been a form of armor. If this message stirs something in you, if it awakened memory, if it opened your eyes, then let it move beyond you. And if you want to keep walking with me as we confront these patterns, as we name what others avoid, as we refuse to let history repeat itself in the dark, then stay connected. Like, share, subscribe. Not for me, but for the work.